Okay, so before we get into this, let me explain what's going on. This year I set out to travel to a few countries in Asia. Some of you all have been here since the beginning in Malaysia, and others this may be your first video. Regardless, I'm thankful. In the past few months, I've been blessed enough to travel through Thailand, the Philippines, Vietnam, and South Korea. Oh, let's not forget I spent the night in Singapore. This is actually when I met her. Wait, not her. No, not her. Not any of them, but her. Let me tell you all how we met. So I was just walking around exploring Singapore as I usually do when I visit a new country. As I was wrapping up the vlog, I seen someone who caught my eye. I intended to turn my camera on, but I didn't realize it was already on, and so I actually turned it off. So none of what I'm about to explain is filmed. Anyway, I introduce myself, we have some small talk. She tells me she's out in Singapore studying, but she's from China. We exchange information, she smiles and waves for the camera, and then we say our goodbyes. At this point, it was time for me to head to the airport to leave Singapore and go to the Philippines. An hour or two passed, so I figured I'd text her. I sent her a text saying it's Joshua with the shades and American flag emojis. She asked me was I just visiting or did I come for a job. I explained to her that I just had a layover and was heading to the Philippines, but I live in Ho Chi Minh City. We sent a few texts back and forth, one thing led to another, and I suggested we hang out next time I come to Singapore. Then I came up with an even better idea. Remember I said I set out to travel to a bunch of countries in Asia this year? Well, there was one on the list I hadn't been to yet. That was China. So I figured, I just met a Chinese girl during my layover in Singapore. Maybe this was fate. If not fate, at the very least, it was a good enough reason for me to go to China. So I texted her and I said, you know what? Forget Singapore. How about we go to China together? She said she'd love to, but had to check with her school schedule for her next vacation. She sent me her schedule, but by this time I had to board my flight to the Philippines and I told her I would call her later. So after a couple days later finally came and I gave her a call. We talked for maybe 20 minutes, but it was long enough for us to come to the conclusion that we were both very willing to make the trip. So over the next few months while I was traveling and she was in school, we kept in touch. A few quick phone calls and a couple text messages back and forth. On the last phone call, we booked the flights. I was still slightly skeptical, so I did tell her to book hers first and then I booked mine. Somehow, someway, I still booked mine first and she sent her confirmation a couple minutes later, so all was well. Next step was where to stay. After doing some research, I found an area I thought would be enjoyable for both of us. Then came the hotel. She actually suggested that we get a place together. The guy in me definitely was not opposed to this, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized how bad of an idea that could be. So I thought about getting one together and booking a separate just in case place, just in case. But ultimately I decided it would be most convenient if we just booked two separate rooms in the same hotel. So that's what we did. Now besides all of that, I must say I was slightly nervous about visiting China. Growing up, the most I knew about the country was that they made a lot of products found in America. We've all seen the made in China tags, right? Especially on the number 2 pencils. Fast forward, I still didn't know much about China, but as always, I'm down to learn. First thing I quickly learned is what is required to get into the country. As you know, every country has their own visa requirements and China is definitely no exception. I entered using China's 10-day, 240-hour visa-free transit. Essentially, this means you can enter China for up to 10 days or 240 hours without needing a visa. The only catch is you technically must be using China as a middle point and not a final destination. For example, because I flew in from Vietnam, I could not directly return to Vietnam from China. So I had to book a flight from China to Thailand, then book a flight from Thailand to Vietnam. Lucky for me, 10 days is all I would need. This video is the beginning of an exciting series. I finally get to explore China, and even better, I get to share my experience with you all. As always, it will be a mix of sightseeing, city tours, introspective discussions, new friends, nightlife, interviews, and everything in between. Special shout out to my tour guide who made this experience 1,000 times easier. We are officially in China, man. I'll show y'all, like, the outside is dark right now, so I'm gonna give y'all a real tour tomorrow, but this is what's going on right now. I'll just show y'all. Leaving the airport. My hotel is about 45 minutes from the airport. So I'll tell y'all what's going on now. I'm not supposed to check in until like 2 p.m. But the Wi-Fi at the airport, like, I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but China has mad restrictions in terms of the internet. So like YouTube doesn't work, Instagram doesn't work, I think Google doesn't work, my bank didn't work, it's a lot that doesn't work. So but I figured, that might just be the airport Wi-Fi. So I'm like, let me just go to the hotel, see if that Wi-Fi works, so I can get some videos uploaded or whatever. But
Cause even like the Starbucks at the airport didn't have Wi-Fi either. I thought that was kind of strange. So I was like, it's probably just the airport. They're not going for nothing at all. So I'm like, okay, let me go to the hotel. Let me see if it's like a little more lenient or something like that. But yeah, nonetheless, yeah, we're in China though. The check-in process was not check-in process. The arrival process was super chill. I did have to give them my fingerprints twice, and I had to fill out a little form, just like a temporary visa type form. Just quick name, date of birth, passport information. They got a Holiday Inn Express over there. But yeah, name, date of birth, passport information, stuff like that. Nothing crazy. So I gave him that. He just asked me, like, you know, when you plan on leaving, just like typical arrival stuff. And yeah, and so now I'm in the country now, and so far so good. I will say something that I seen that was interesting was in the immigration area. I guess somebody took a picture and they was like, "Yo, delete that." They was like, "Yo, you took a picture?" She was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Delete that," and like made her delete it like on the spot. So that was kind of interesting. But you know, Shorty. Oh, also, so right now I'm using this app. It's called Didi. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, I'm using this app called Didi right now. That's how I got the taxi. It's two. There's one that's just called Didi, and then there's another one like Didi for China. So you gotta get the Didi for China app. Also, the girl I'm linking up with, she told me to use Alipay, but for some reason it wasn't really working with my card. So I ended up using WePay, which is like what we're talking on now. Because also you can't use WhatsApp in China. They got that blocked too. So I just booked this little ride. This ride right here, it was 159 China. I don't know what their currency is called. China currency, which is, hey Siri, how much is 159 CNY to USD? So $21. So this ride is $21. I think it's about 45 minutes, so that's actually not terrible. And for the rest of the time being, I think I'm gonna be pretty much around my hotel. But she said she waiting on me, man. So I'm about to pull up. But oh yeah, so I'm about to. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to check into the hotel, but I figured they probably have a room available. If not, they at least have Wi-Fi. So it should be cool. But I think they'll let me check in. Just gotta pay a little extra. But yeah, so we're officially in China, bro. I'm excited to wake up in the morning and show you guys how it looks during the day, Shanghai. But yeah. Oh, also, like, I waited till I left the airport. I just ain't want to be on like no hot stuff at all. I'm trying to just stay low key under the radar and go home. You feel me? I don't know the vibe at all, so I'm like just chilling, following the rules. And yeah, man. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, man. We are in China. It's lit. Yo, so I made it to the hotel, but there was on some shit like ain't no more rooms available, and I gotta wait until tomorrow type shit. So I'm about to eat real quick, but I'm about to see like afterwards if I can find somewhere to like check in at. If not, I'll probably just like chill in the lobby. One thing about me, bro, I don't be giving a fuck. Like, I'll thug it out. But anyway, we at Family Mart right now. About to grab some eats. I don't know about that. This type look good though. I ain't gonna lie, like. The egg shit slick throwing me off, but I don't know. Like chicken Alfredo type shit. What would y'all get, man? If you with me. I'm slick hungry too though. I really ain't even ate today. But yeah, I might give me a hot meal, man, and I'll catch up with y'all in a second.